Alright, that'll do, that'll do. Keep the music nice and down low and somewhat relaxing for another Foldit stream. Let's bring it over here, shall we? Hey folks, Socrates here, also known as Patrick, and we have our next round of the coronavirus puzzle. So, if you're new here and you don't know what you're looking at, this chunk down here is a part of the coronavirus that's been going all around, and I just touched my face. I know, I've washed my hands, don't worry. I'll probably disinfect my keyboards afterwards, though, and let me get some water in before I forget, because I've been really thirsty all day, and I'm not sure why. Ooh, man. Oh no, thank you for the follow. So this right here is a chunk of what the coronavirus spike protein would normally bind to, except it's got a few things kind of missing here that we're free to change if we want to. And the rest of this here is just a blank protein placeholder for us to design. And so our job here is to redesign the protein so that it binds very tightly to this. And what we'll basically in effect do is make a decoy for coronavirus to latch onto that's not our human cells, and that is quite handy. So, if you haven't heard of Foldit before, it is a protein folding sandbox game, as I like to call it. It's kind of a sandbox puzzle, really, because you are in charge of folding your own proteins and making it work. Whether it's predicting the structure of unknown proteins or designing our own, like we are in this puzzle. If you want more information, you can hit !Foldit in chat, and that is our dedicated chat command for Foldit information. So, what's on the docket tonight? Tonight, we're going to play some Foldit first, since I want something to be churning in the background while I play Animal Crossing. And then, as my Nook's Cranny shirt would imply, we're going to be playing some of that new Animal Crossing that releases in just a few minutes. I just don't want to overload the servers, I guess? I don't know. Like, people are all going to be, like, requesting to play, and I don't know. Just want to ease into it, you know? That's the whole point of Animal Crossing, is that there's no pressure. Now, already from the last round, it's the same thing as last round, except we have a few things different here. 2 streams of Foldit happening at once. Yo, poggers. That is Josh, I presume. How you doing? Who else is streaming Foldit right now? You know what? Let me look. Twitch following categories. I know I have Foldit followed. Oh, it's Seuss. Seuss is streaming. Nice. She's ending though. Well, I will. I'll pick up the rebound, I guess. Now I hear that there's a bug with Blueprint in this puzzle, so I'm actually going to use the same approach that I did last time. You know, with the whatchamacallit. Hello, Heals by Katie. Thanks for the good luck. Welcome to the channel. You're a new face, and so I'm going to use the same strategy that I used last puzzle in terms of rough drafting this. So I think something that hasn't been explained very well is that Foldit actually has a sort of early, middle, and late game to it. And early game is where most of the groundwork is made. So we need to like make full advantage of that. Let me just adjust my camera here so that I can lean forward properly. And also adjust my lights too. I have a very, very budget lighting setup that it works. It's just, you know, it's not professional by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm also working on a video, and so this is actually part of my script, or my outline that I've written for the video. So, hey Meta, how's it going? Have you acquired the new Animal Crossing? Because I want to play the Animal Crossing. The new game. Some people are already making their island names very funny. But yeah, that'll be releasing in just like 14 minutes. I'm not going to be playing at launch. That's a little counterintuitive. I don't want to stress myself out, so I want to get a good fold going here first, and then once I can safely run recipes and just be on autopilot for this game, then I'll boot up Animal Crossing. It's ready to go though. It's preloaded. I wouldn't dare try to stream while I'm, you know, downloading a new game. So what do we have here? So right here, I wanna test something first. How much leniency do we have? Also, I should check where my pins are. Show backbone pins, and okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure why this pin is over here, but like it's not really doing much. Reset the puzzle here. Regain my bearings. So one thing that I noticed in the last round, which was, you know, again very similar, was that we did have a little bit of action going on over here in terms of some hydrophobics that can be interacted with. And then this tyrosine here is also worth bonding with if we can. So I was thinking we could maybe target those in this round's solution, or we could go on to the other side here and do the same thing. We could try to complete the hydrogen bonding faces over here. I think that might be also a prudent goal if we went for that. Or we could just be lazy and just, you know, kind of wing it. I usually overthink my solutions anyway, just because I think I have too much time on my hands when really I don't, and so I just go for like one solution set and go with it. And it's usually enough to get me into top 100, so I'm happy. The only thing that I'm concerned about right now is these loop segments right here off of the locked helix that we are designing off of. This is not part of the coronavirus puzzle protein. This is part of the protein that we get to design. Like, we can change the amino acids right there. Excuse me. This is locked in place, but we can change what's coming off the sides and what isn't locked as the interface. So, also that's quite the shame, Meta. I hope that you can secure some funds soon. Although, granted, with everything going around us, if you need to save money, then by all means, please do save money. So right now I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have this helix here. Last time I tried a triple helix solution, which is very, very easy to craft and very easy to work with. And that got me into rank 27, which was pretty good. Welcome in. Welcome in, Hika. My wonderful, lovely girlfriend, who, by the way, made all of the channel art, so thank you again and again for that. You know what, I'm gonna go and use this branch here. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 segments of leeway. Let's see, blueprint here. Also, I want to look at the order here. This is gonna be a helix to helix either way. I just need to figure out where it lies. That's gonna be on 140 some odd. Okay, so it's gonna be around over here. Probably better if I went into selection interface to highlight what I'm talking about here. So this is what I'm talking about here. You want to see the art but you're on mobile? Well, I mean, like, just all of the channel assets. So, like, you know, my logo, if you see the follow alerts as well, stuff like that. So, you should be able to see that at least. See, there we are. Although I think the sock is generic. But yeah. And also my emotes as well. The music though, I've just got the chiptune station playing on Pretzel right now. Alright, so let's get started. Anyways, what was I doing? I needed to open up Blueprint because I wanted to look at the building blocks just to see how much space we can possibly fit. And it looks like maximum we can have 3 amino acids here. Now the fact that this is locked is a little bit concerning, but I think we can make it sort of work. We would just have to start the helix like really close here. And yes, I do have auto ducking on my background audio. Let me turn the music up just a little bit. Welcome in, Tizoid. That's a new name I don't recognize. But yeah, I think there was a tutorial on that. I think Epos Vox was the guy that I looked up for the tutorial on that. It's making it so that whenever I'm talking, it's making the background audio a little bit quieter so that you can hear my voice. Kind of see that. It's pretty slick. I like it. It's a little bit of stream value. So anyways, yeah, with this 3 residue leeway, I'm not sure if I can make it work, but we'll see. I mean, I could also try to attack from the other end. It's just that this angle right here is super, like, awkward. Like, I think no matter what, I'm gonna have at least 3 residues of a loop, so my loops might not be as short, but I really want to have a helix on this side, so we're gonna go for that. Let's go into structure mode real quick, get out of selection interface, and then let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then assign helix. And I'm gonna avoid using blueprint mode for this fold as I did in my round 3 solution. Let's go ahead and assign all of that as a helix. I don't know how big this necessarily is going to be. I just know that I want to have a helix on the other side and see where it takes me. Alright, so I'll assemble my helix there. I'll use the cut tool to separate it, and now if I just left click on the helix, I can hold right click on the center arrows and move it about wherever I want, and then once I stop moving, it'll recalculate the score, which doesn't matter right now. This is the early game. Alright, let's see. I might need to either move this out of the way or kind of take into account how close it is. Let me turn clashes on so I can see. We do have clashes because of our placeholder residues here. Let's see. I want to have it so that the helix kind of curves downward like this. Not that far though. And we have a lot to toy with here, so it's not necessarily like set in stone either. The coronavirus proteins still can be moved about and shaken, so that's always good to know. Let's maybe move this closer. See, I don't know how much room I have to kind of stretch between here, and that's kind of a bad sign, but I want this helix on this side, just so we can get that extra bit of interaction over here. That's what I'm thinking anyways. Also, I've come to the realization that my style of making a protein is akin to Bob Ross and his paintings, in the sense that, like, sometimes you might not know what I'm actually going for, like, in the beginning, and by the time it ends, though, everyone is just spamming saved in the chat. So I always thought that to be quite hilarious. Also, I think I might need to go into selection interface to shake this phenylalanine, which naturally settles in this position anyways, so that's actually really good. I just wanted to see if I was making something unstable by doing that. I'm really wondering why that phenylalanine is there. Maybe there's some additional binding that isn't shown. But, I mean, the binding groove is down here. So this is kind of like some just auxiliary protein. But we might want to make use of that in this solution. In fact, let me just Control-Z a couple of times. That's actually where I wanted it. So let me take pins and exposed out of the way first. Don't really care about that right now. Like I said, I'm just rough drafting, kind of trying to see. It's like Bob Ross trying to, like, you know, just put down some color on the canvas. He's not really doing anything with it yet. And my problem here is that everything's too close. They made it to rank 28 with sheets that look like a gang of helices beat them up? Oh dear. Is this on round 3's leaderboard, or the beginner leaderboard? Also, yeah, this Round 4? Oh, okay. So we're still in the early stages of round 4, so the leaderboards are going to be very, very volatile, as far as I'm concerned. While we're at it, I think we might as well turn the core filter on, just so we can see how well we're packing things. Yeah, you're gonna have to fight for that that rank 28, my friend. You're definitely gonna have to fight for it. It's not gonna be an easy fight either. Okay. Okay, at this point I'm thinking I'm pretty okay with this. This will be stretched out a little bit. If need be, I'll release another helix and then twist it so that it's giving it a little bit more room. In fact, I'll twist it even a little bit now. So bring this down just a smidge so that we can get a little bit more packing. And this will probably come out when I do the wash, so to speak. But yeah, then we can take a little bit of advantage of this extra groove here. We might even be able to get some hydrogen bonding going down here with this tyrosine. And that looks pretty good. As for the length of the helix, I think we'll keep it like that. We'll just it doesn't have to be the exact same length. I think this is even a little bit longer, I want to say. So we'll deal with that. Next up, I'm gonna cut this loose, and let's make some sheets. Now, sheets are kind of hard to mess with, so bear with me here. But especially without Blueprint mode, Blueprint makes sheets considerably easier, I'd say. But yeah, so let's go into structure mode real quick, assign a sheet, and then again we'll do 1, 2, 3, and I guess this has to be our sheet right here. Oh wait, no, do I have even less room? Wait, no, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, no, we're good. And then judging by the length of what we have here, hey, thanks for following. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could either go short sheets and then like kind of stack them like along the side here, or we can go for like just extra long sheets and then align them as we have the helices here. I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna challenge myself and do some shorter sheets. I think I'll probably make them anti-parallel. Gotta go, but thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for stopping in. And if you need any help with this game, feel free to ask me questions. I am more than willing to answer them. Finally finding some time. Oh yeah. That's great to hear. I'm all for it. Just give me more competition, especially and give the true veterans here that are at the top of the leaderboards more competition as well. They've been holding the fort for quite a while now, and it's always been a little implied dream of mine to shake things up a little bit and make sure that the competitive scene stays healthy. Now, this might look a little weird, but I'm gonna angle my sheets kind of diagonally, and this will make sense in just a moment. I'm just trying to work out the right rough position for all this. I'm also taking note of how much I have on top and bottom here. I think maybe if we do... no, I'm not in structure mode. Go back into structure mode and idealize this sheet here. All the sheets are inherently curved, just a smidge. So it's a little harder to line up than you would normally expect, but that's okay. Looks like the clock has struck 9, so it is time for Animal Crossing for those who can't wait. I can afford to wait since I have science to do. Ho ho! And then, I will refer to Blueprint for inspiration as to how I'm actually going to join my secondary structures together. So I'm going to look at the sheet-to-sheet connections. Now, Looks like there's one that's 4 residues long. And you can actually like move these around here. These are actually little preview windows, and you can see what they end up looking like when you put them together. So that really long boy right there is pretty suitable. This one angles itself a little bit. This one keeps things relatively level. I kind of want to keep things level a little bit. I do want a little curve, but I wanted to rely on wiggle to provide that curvature for me rather than blueprint. So yeah, this one starts to curve in a little bit. But these are, let's see. One of these is 5 long, some of them are 4 long, some of them are 2 long. As in the number 2, not like TOO. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 residues long. We check blueprint to see how much protein I have left to work with. I can add more, but I'd prefer not to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we should be conservative and do 2. And then add a couple more. 5 turns right, 2 turns left. 4 can turn either way. Okay. Let's see, where am I? I should be paying attention to whether or not it turns left or right. You're absolutely correct. That's something that I never appreciated in blueprint mode because, you know what? I think okay, hold on. Is the end terminus on this section or this section? Oh, actually, that doesn't help me. There needs to be some sort of orientation that occurs here. That would be a good. You know what? That would actually be a good thing to put into the UI. To say, okay, this is this amount of residues long, and it'll turn left or right. That's something. Yeah. 5 long is right. 2 long is left. 4 is antipathic. Oh crap! I just realized. Using blueprint shifted that over, so let's see. Okay, we are going up the backbone, or like up in terms of backbone number, so I need to turn left. And so the 2 long loop segment will be perfect. Let me create my sheet. Ideal SS. Actually, wait, I should cut it first. One notable thing about cut is that it cuts forward. So if you select a segment, it'll cut the forward connection. Alright. And then we can just reposition. I can also use pins, you're absolutely right. Just turn those on just so I don't forget that they're there. Sometimes they get in the way though, especially when I have a lot of cut points. Okay, this should line up a little awkwardly here. It's too close. What am I doing? I'm playing with bondable atoms turned off. And sheet bonds turned off. What have I even been playing this game, guys? Can't even get my view options right. Alright, this is a little hard to see, but I am forming the H-bonds that I'm so looking for here. Do the thing. How's it going, Mish? It's been a long time since I've seen you in here. Let's see, I still have that loose as a cut point, so we can afford to move this just a smidge. Go for maybe less aggressive of a slant, or maybe move this up so that I can stack this way, and maybe I can make the sheet a little bit shorter. Yeah, think I need to make the sheet a little shorter so that I can make the turns faster. That means I wouldn't be fulfilling the sheet network over here. That's a problem. So if we move this up, I think that's okay. Let me restore the sheet assignment there and see how that unfolds. Or I guess folds in this case. It's not letting you in? See, I foresaw this. I had the foresight to be like, yo, let me play another game, just chill for a bit. I need to turn right, so I can do a 4 residue turn for anti-parallel sheets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this is my new sheet. We'll cut at the second residue. That should create a new pin. I guess we'll make a decently long sheet. I don't know how much of it I'm going to use. Let's do a little bit of camera finagling here. We are running out of protein, but that is okay. We can add a few more. Susume, do you know the maximum residue limit for this puzzle? I know we have score penalties in play, and normally I'm not one to challenge the score penalties, but I'm actually taking some creative liberties with my design. Okay, we're working with 194, but we don't have a max. Okay, that's fine. You know what, let's flip this guy over. You know what? The chiptune's a little intense. I gotta say, let's crank it down. Let's switch stations. I guess to the chill station. I can do chill or ambient on pretzel, and usually that yields pretty decent results. Okay, so how am I doing on core? I mean, this is showing, or that's telling me that all layers are okay for core, but this is far from covering the entire thing, so I don't know how much more residues I want to work with here. I was hoping to stagger this and sort of lay the groundwork. 204 according to puzzle comments makes sense. You know what? Hold on. Let me freeze these and merge the cut points together. Give them a quick wiggle just to resolve themselves. That works. Oh, nice. I will get to my island getaway momentarily. Okay, that looks good. Probably mangled, but we can fix that. Alright, so now that they're cut together, or the cut points are fused together, I can move this as one single unit again. It's not exactly the perfect single unit, but we're still in the draft phase. I'm just kind of feeling things out. This is what I mean, by the way, when I say helices are just like infinitely easier to work with. They just naturally lend themselves to just sticking together. Versus with sheets, you have to like figure out like where exactly do you want them to be, and then the side chains are jutting out, so it's not like you can just lay them down, you know, immediately. You have to account for the space that the side chains are gonna occupy. So if you don't have a sheet network that's big enough, then you run into some bad trouble. So we can add up to 10 residues, if that's correct. So I go into design, and I right click. I'm gonna insert 3. Insert another 3. and then insert a final 3, and then one more. You'd make that sheet longer? I would too. In fact, I'm probably going to invert and go the other way in here in just a moment. Hello, Synord. How are you this this fine evening? Let me cut this real quick so I can create another pin. Actually, where do I want this? Where do I want this pin? Yeah, probably I want it there. Maybe about that long? We'll see. It's a little mangled right now, so segment is locked. Oh, it's because I froze it. That's why. Let me go ahead and unfreeze everything so I can work with it again. Okay, this is a left turn, so it is curving quite a bit now, though. That might be just what we need. I can probably do with some rotation. In fact, this is the one instance where I think maybe using tweak is an optimal play. I guess the other thing about cheats is that they never really quite settle into the pattern that you really want them in. Let's see, this is getting really close there. So I think we make the rest of it a sheet. Do a two segment turn. Come on, straighten yourself out. Oh, this is just straight up clipping. That's why. Yeah, that'll do it. That's straight up clipping, so now we can cut that free. And then now we can get a little bit more coverage over on this side, and then we can probably fulfill all of the H-bonds there. And then that nut will be free on that end. How much points are we losing here? So we're losing all of the residue count points. Which, if I remember, let's see, this is 550 points that we're losing out on. That's fine because we get more, we naturally get more interaction energy to work with and potentially get more points. It's just a sacrifice that we have to be willing to make. Make sure that that's shaped properly, and then now we can take a macro scale look, and we are getting core bonus, but we need to make sure that this settles in place, and I have a couple of techniques that I need to use in order to do that. First off, let's see. If I turn it with the move tool, it might like shift from its current position, and so I want this to be turned with the tweak tool. So that I can use the move tool for this guy. And maybe the angles might not be optimal for the H-bonds, but as long as they're still being made, I believe that we can make it work. If not, then that's science, right? At least we know that it's not going to work. Okay, so lots of clashing here. We can still fix that later. But right now, I need to focus on repairing the cut points, which that one can just be straight up repaired. It's not too mangled here, but over here, we gotta make this turn work. We'll worry about checking on ideal loops later. Go ahead and fix this up. I think we might need to run a quick fix or something here. Is this one right-handed? Have I got it flipped? So this is 1, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that still considered right? Do we have to go from the other side. If that's the case, then I guess we can redraft this as we need to. Alright, so Nord, I do understand the science behind it, but for once I actually need to get out of the clouds here and speak in practical terms. Also, this new bottle of mine is really good. There's like a really good rubber seal on it. This is the Game's Done Quick water bottle that they sold for the last GDQ. You might be wrong. Okay, whatever. Let's fold it. We can make what we want. Now the problem is, and now to get this cut point to fuse, please, thank you. I'm gonna turn on backbone issues at this point, because we will inevitably have them. How close am I to 100%? Very. In fact, I'm like right there. That's the paper when the ideal loops are from. Oh, cool. Let's take a quick look-see. Control, overall shape, size, and okay. Abstract these. Hang on, I'm reading the abstract. Whew, man. That's heavy-handed with the words, but I barely understand it. But yeah, they're laying down the principles. That makes sense. That makes sense. Switch my tablet back to Twitch chat here so I can keep an eye on it. Here are my notifications as well. Oh, really? Has all the tables. They did the math. They absolutely did the math. Okay. So let's see. Now I need to fuse my cut points from the sheets. I could pull on this, but I think local wiggle will serve us well. I think it's gonna break that portion. I'm okay with that. Am I really though? What if we just froze that? I'm a little more okay with this. Probably gonna get lost in the wash, but c'est la vie. I think that's the other difficulties with working with sheets, is that even if you do use a blueprint and whatnot, it never quite turns out the way you want it. Okay, all cut points are sealed, so now I've got a whole bunch of ideality issues. I'm gonna unfreeze and run quick fix, just with default settings. I'm just gonna wait till all those go away, and I can check on the progress up here. A Rosetta-based startup now, impressive. Now we should be working our way out of the negatives. Oh, you know what? I think, hang on, I should probably lower the clashing points as well before proceeding forward. It's somewhat easy, but also a little bit of a pain to undo after using quick fix. Okay, yeah. I see what's going on here now. Let me go back to this portion. Yeah. That is still roughly in the spot where I wanted it. And run quick fix at lower clashing performance. Let's go at like 10. Last chance to change it. Just, yeah. Should hopefully help things a little bit. I think maybe should have frozen my sheets as well. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but this is what I find to usually work. Keyword is usually, and I think that's breaking the sheet there. I think I'm just gonna have to accept that. It might be off meta, but that's something that I have to deal with when I'm working with sheets. It's practice either way. Usually local wiggles will fix some things, but I'm gonna wait until it does some of the rebuilds. But this might take a while. I should keep it on auto. But yeah, I'm mainly waiting for the backbone issues to go away. That's what I'm mainly waiting for, and I'm okay with keeping it at there. Offset sheets for covering a larger area. This is, I mean, I've seen it in some revisiting puzzles, I think, and I've tried to make them work. They never really do work, but, you know, never hurts to try, right? But yeah, I figured that if I go at a diagonal and then instead of one or two long sheets, or no, 2 or 3 long sheets, which I don't think I would have the residues for anyway, I was thinking maybe like a series of stacked shorter ones could work. And it's the thing is, the awkward positioning of this helix down here, right, is throwing me off. Like this locked segment here is the main restriction I have to work around. I mean, it's okay that we have like locked segments, don't get me wrong. I like the extra conditions and suggestion basically that scientists are basically passing off onto us. It's just that it induces some inherent problems when we construct our solutions that may or may not be dealable. So here's hoping I can make it work. Like, again, like the angle that this comes off, I'm like, okay, what do I attach to this? Do I try to go for something over here? And I tried to like move stuff over there. Actually, no, I didn't. I was moving with the other thing. But like, yeah, over here, this segment, it's doing like weird stuff. Alright, so now it's doing like cut and idealize, as you can see in the recipe output. My game is lagging like heck, so it's not the stream, mind you. Like my webcam feed is still should be in 30 FPS, and then all the rest of my stream elements should be in 60. But yeah, now I'm waiting for this to be resolved, and hopefully we can get something usable out of it. Looks like I'm going to be losing a lot more of my sheet than I anticipated. I will accept. I will accept that. So now it'll clean up. We might be able to fix this with a band or two when we start really cleaning up this protein. But yeah, let's see. Hold on. Let's check stick view real quick and see what is going on. Okay, yeah, this is contorting like way off. Way off. Alright. This isn't really chill music. I don't know why Pretzel is categorized like this. This is why I think like ambient is a better station to actually like vibe to. Like this one's a little upbeat, but it's still like chill enough for me to accept. Alright, let's go for a H-bond there. Length 2. Change band strength to 5. We want a stronger one. Josh, I don't know if you knew this, but if you play around with the band strength slider, it only goes from half to 1.5, when really you could go all the way up to 10. Just your fun fact of the day. Alright, so we'll band that together, and we'll keep that rubber band, I guess, for when we start to settle this. In fact, I think I'm gonna start to settle this. They took it out. Why? Maybe at least make a toggle so that it's like uncapped or something? I don't know. Let's see. I do want my helices to stay together. Hey, thanks for the follow. Alright. I think I know the plan here. I was originally going to try and wrap this way, but I think I'm going to keep this helix like anchored right here. So I think I will use zero length bands so that we can keep this core. In fact, I think we're getting max core bonus right now, so let's turn that back on so that this protein doesn't look as ugly as it does right now. Let's make sure our clashing importance down low. And what else? Okay, I think this is a good time to freeze my sheets. In fact, freeze everything that is a secondary structure at this point. Maybe not this segment right here. I think we can maybe axe that as a sheet, because that is behaving very much like a loop right there. Let us freeze this helix. I was originally planning for this helix to have a little bit more of a curve in it, but we'll keep it as a straight helix for now. We can make adjustments later. And then I am going to switch to selection interface because we're going to start using zero length bands. And I don't want to zero length band every single thing here. Wait, hold on, let me go back into structure mode. Unfreeze these segments because I think I need more loopage, if you will. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks better. If it looks mangled in cartoon view, then it probably is. I'm gonna see if I can get away with pulling this sheet back into the way it ought to be. In fact, I should probably remove this freeze. Yeah, let's go with that. I might have to remove this freeze as well, but I'm afraid of affecting this one. Brother, may I have some more loops? When will the loops be ready, brother? Soon. The recipes must act first. Actually, no, we're hand-folding, so it's not even recipes. I already ran quick fix, so at this point I'm gearing up for a hand fuse. Alright, yeah. Now we go into selection. I am going to... Actually, it's kind of harder when I have it frozen. I'll refreeze it in a second. Hold on. That's a tad annoying. Why is it, it doesn't behave like freeze in the sense that it doesn't select only the secondary structure, and it selects all of this. And I wonder why. Wait, hold on, over here. Yeah, it's selecting all of that. I just want to select my sheets, man. I'm not opposed to doing it manually like this, but, you know, I want to save time if at all possible in the early game. Because, you know, the more time you save in the early game, the more time your recipes can run, right? So, but basically, I want to target all of my secondary structures. Will this work? Shift Control? No. Alright, hold on. It selected all of the helix. I need to ignore the loops. Oh, and I bungled it. Alright, hold on. Okay, that's not selected. I was trying to confirm whether or not that's selected. That's the thing about selection interface, too, is that you can't undo, like, unselecting things, I guess. At least to my knowledge. If you can, then that's revolutionary, and I should know about that, like, yesterday. But that's one of my gripes with selection interface. Okay, I will select all of that. I will get rid of notes. Jeez, press 1 to get rid of notes in selection interface. Although they can be useful if you're the one that likes to tag things and leave breadcrumbs for yourself. I've got all the secondary structures selected, so I'm gonna go to zero length bands. I'm gonna leave backbone selected, and I want it. I'm just gonna leave it all unchecked because I already have all the ones that I want banded. I'm going to set the band strength to actually 1.5. I want them to be a little strong, but I think I want to be a little bit more lenient as far as this goes because I'm going to be freezing those anyways. I'm going to go to more and then hit selected only. Then I'll click back. We can have it skip segments. I don't care about that. I want it to ZLB everything. And I'll just hit start, wait for my computer to lag for 3 minutes as I think about what I'm gonna name my Animal Crossing island. Oh man, I still haven't given it that much thought. But we shall decide sooner or later. Is there a default name? I have to wonder. Maybe there's a good reference that I can make. Maybe I can name it Outset Island. Good old Wind Waker. Wind Waker vibes from The Legend of Zelda. Okay. This should be finishing up soon, I hope, if I did it correctly. Otherwise, I am wasting a lot of time. Please tell me it did only selected. Okay, I probably did. So now I can deselect those, and those should all be those should all be ZLB'd properly too, even the helices. We can check that. If you go into stick view, and oh, yep, sure enough. Perfect. And none of the coronavirus is banded. That's one shortcoming of the current iteration of ZLBs is that it will the recipe doesn't care if the segment is locked. So, all right, looking good there. Now let me refreeze all of my secondary structures except for the parts that I want to let wriggle around. Unfreeze. Unfreeze, and first I'm going to shake at full clashing importance, just because I want the isoleucines to sort themselves out a little bit. That should help things a little. Okay, let me shift the camera over, so that we can kind of check to see how our core is faring. Already that cuts down our negative score by half, so we are well on our way to stability from this rough draft. I really should have shaken earlier, just so that I don't get these false positives from clashes that that shows up, so that I could have maybe clustered them a little closer together. But that's all right. We can fix that with fusing. Shake's completed a pass, so we've got zero length bands in place. Our secondary structures are frozen. I'm gonna set clashing importance down to 5% on the nose. There we go. And wiggle. Alright, take care, Josh. I understand it is past midnight for you, right? Like, it is Eastern time? But yeah, I'll be playing Animal Crossing in just a smidge. Just a smidge. And also, let me respond to your Discord ping real quick before we go here. Oh, did you implement a beta bend in there? That's kind of cool. Like, if you did it unintentionally, then, I mean, I guess. Oh, I should mention, actually, hold on. Before you go, because this is something that I keep forgetting exists. You see this button here, Auto Structures? This is a good way to get a snapshot of what Foldit is currently considering in a sheet or in a loop or what have you. So if I Control Z, I get this, this is what I manually assigned, but if I hit Auto Structures, Foldit doesn't think this is part of the sheet, and you know what? I'm okay with it at this point. But all the rest is still being considered in the sheet, in the loop. This segment's not being considered a sheet, and so if you click that on the solution, that screenshot you did. So let me write that down for you. Click on Auto Structures in the Actions menu. Sheet. If it's not either, then it'll say loop, and then you're just kind of out of luck there. Alright. Let's let Wiggle work itself a little bit more. I don't think it was actually stable yet. Although it kind of is. Maybe it was. I should give it more credit. But yeah, have a good night. Take care. Ooh, we're running into some trouble here. From forcing that hydrogen bond. Let's disconnect. And looks like, okay, we get our bonds back. See, this is the other problem with cheats, is that once you start like branching out from your rough draft, you have to spend like so much time fixing hydrogen bonds. It's nuts. Okay, so that's stabilized. Let me consider my options. Let's remove bands. I'm okay with removing bands. Let's look at our bondable atom nodes and band them together. But already, you're starting to see this like take shape, right? Like this is kind of my proposed solution to wrap around this binding thing to make a core. I clearly have enough core residues, but that'll change as we increase clashing importance. Let me wiggle again, see what happens. See if we can't get those bonds back. Might have to go into stick view and manually manipulate this, but we have released the zero length bands as well, so positions may shift a little. We're still getting enough core. In fact, let me just run that down here. And let me unfreeze secondary structures so that I can use a tweak on this. Because this is curving much too inward for my liking. And we need this to not... What is it doing? Did I lower the clashing importance like way too low? I feel like I did. Alright, hold on, let's pause. Like, I might need to cut this loose again and realign it. Like, it's getting in like really snug on like down here, but I wanted to at least take its neighboring sheets with it. You know what I mean? That's not something I want. Okay. Let me freeze. Let's just freeze the whole sheet. We'll do a long loop on this because we have to use a long loop to make this work, man. It's just an inevitability. And I think we'll run a quick fix as well. Okay, that's rearranging itself. We can probably replace this section here with like larger hydrophobics, and that should still be covered. And then if we repair this, oh god, I forgot to freeze my sheet. Could use a pin as well, but freezing is more readily available to the hands. Okay, unfreeze. You know, I'm gonna keep the rubber band there. Yeah, I think that's the play. You know, I'm not really too concerned with the helix. That one can move around freely. It's the sheets that I'm concerned about. So let's tag all of our sheets again and CLB. Maybe make them a little bit more stringent this time. So maybe we'll keep it at 3 strength, and then we'll go to more, and then hit selected. And then hit start, and that should take less time to finish, since we're only doing the sheets this time. Also, my camera is wigging out. Can't decide on what white balance it wants. Finish up here and pray that my game doesn't crash. Always a plus, right? And let's freeze our sheets again. Like, sheets are so sheets are delicate and Foldit, man. I don't know. Blame Wiggle. We are still at low clashing importance, right? Yes, we are. Let's go ahead and shake it full clashing. And maybe I don't need to do like as low. Like, I think we can go 10% and get away with that. I'm also not digging this song here. Let's skip it. This song I can vibe with. My non-ideals. Oh yeah, I didn't run quick fix yet. That's okay. Not getting my bonus. All I care about right now is core. Alright, now we wiggle. Let's go 10%. That should, yep, that's gonna get us out of the negatives. Let me make sure that my bonds aren't breaking. That's always a plus. Bonds aren't breaking. Core is holding. Oh, beautiful. Let's release this rubber band here mid-wiggle. Hopefully I can do it without my game really lagging. But we're in the positives. That's always a good sign. I will say that core can be a little bit easier to form, I guess, with all the residues that you get when stacking sheets like this. Alright, that's stabilized. Let's ease up. Let's go to full clashing importance first, and then I'll relax the constraints. So let's go to 50. Feeling confident. My helix is still holding, which is wonderful. I'm a little worried about this here. Like, maybe we might not have enough blues to cover it, but it should be fine. I think it should be fine. Like, we're still missing a lot of points from side chains, so we'll get that in a second. Let's wiggle at full. Isoleucine serving as a great placeholder for all of the amino acids. Alright, stabilized. Let me... Okay, let's remove zero-length bands first. Oh wait, hold on. Pause. Hello, Zero. Good to see you once again. Let me see here. I should shake first. How am I doing? I am doing decently well. It's been a long time since I've seen you last in this channel. But yes, we are actually working on a coronavirus puzzle. Okay, shake is done. What can I do about this? I guess we could mutate in this shape. Let's keep it clean for now, but I did see that message. Davis is indeed suffering right now. Yeah, I've kind of done, like, I've kind of had an informal rule that that Foldit is generally more acceptable in terms of family friendliness. Just because right now, especially, there's a lot of new players getting into Foldit, and I've been advocating hard on Twitter for new users to join, because Foldit has a coronavirus puzzle. Like, people can play this and help coronavirus research. It's not just like turning on your computer and just letting it crank. Like, you can actually say, hey, I've got the chops for this. Let me play a video game and be good at it. Let's be good at video games. Although I should remember to turn like automod off or something like that. In fact, let me unblock that term. Self-isolating. I see. So I forgot that I still had all of these auto mod settings from my last charity stream. Alright, where was I? I was trying to resolve these clashes. Let me probably get some more water, Jesus. Folding does indeed actually look like something. How's it going, Everlasting? Oh, drink responsibly, Zero. Okay, we are actually losing bonds here, so I think I'm going to remove ZLBs, but I will put some rubber bands here and here. Maybe it'd be better to make the mutate call, though. Maybe I should make a quick save. You know what? Yeah. Let me... I think I should do the mutation now. Let's pick sidechains. Let's go... Let's mutate at 50% clashing importance. I should still hopefully keep this all together. You know what? I'm paranoid. I don't want... I hate losing cheat bonds that I've, like, so carefully, intentionally positioned. And the game's like, nah. Nah, fam. Nah. We can't have that. Do I have to interact with it, or does it just go? Well, Everlasting, you weren't here for the first part of the stream. This is what we started out with. This is the blank puzzle, so to speak, where this chunk is the coronavirus spike protein. This is a special condition for round 3, but this is part of our designable protein, and it's up to us to design what we think is a good protein to latch on to the binding groove. Any metal binding sites for this one? Nah, I can't say I do, and we don't have any metal ions in this puzzle. You often leave half strength bands. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Deep Remix does preserve bands. Oh, it does have a metal ion on the active site. It's zinc. I mean, that would make sense, but anyways, let's pick our side chains. But yeah, as far as I know, the zinc is not modeled in this one. But yeah, like we are effectively making our own proteins and suggesting them as potential proteins to synthesize and make and hopefully administer if they work out well. It doesn't act. Yeah, it does bind to some allosteric site or something like that. No. Okay, there is a big distinction, Everlasting. So, Folding at Home is run by Stanford, all right, or it's a different institution, all right. This is Foldit. Foldit is a game. Foldit is a game that runs on the Rosetta macro modeling engine. There's something called Rosetta at Home, which runs on the same engine as Foldit, and is functionally very similar to Folding at Home, where you just set it and forget it and you just leave your computer running. The story behind Foldit, like, yeah, Rosetta at Home is the sister project at Boink. So the story behind Foldit is that people were looking at the Rosetta at Home screensaver and going like, why is it wasting time on really stupid shapes that don't really make sense? Like, we could just like position the shapes here, here, and here, and then run the computer simulations on that. And so I like to joke that the story behind it is that the would-be creators of Foldit just kind of looked at each other and like, okay, why don't you do it then? And they slapped the GUI on Rosetta, and here we are. Speaking of GUI, my GUI is telling me that our mutate is done and we have suitable side chains now. So let's give it another wiggle at the same clashing importance. We are seeing lots of shifts, but I think the rubber bands should hold this together. So yeah, like, we're wiggling and shaking and mutating. That's definitely using computer power, but I'm overseeing this entire process. I'm controlling this. This is why you can stream Foldit on Twitch and actually call it a game. Whereas Folding at Home is just like, I don't know, like a true incremental idle game? I don't know. Based on how good your hardware is? Something like that? Okay, so we are good for core. I think we have a lot of residues forming a really, really good core on this one. So I think our bonus points as far as like scientific matters go is probably to create hydrogen bond networks. I don't know if we can reach this one over here. Maybe with a tyrosine? No, that's jutting out at the wrong angle. I might have to abandon that. That's unfortunate. Glutamine... Wait, hold on, let's see. Where's the side chain picker? I have to use selection interface for this. A. Let's see, the pose picker is showing that we are nowhere close to this one in. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, and fork. That's glutamate. It is not the shorter cousin of aspartate. Let's see. I'm losing points on secondary structure design. Yeah, that'll come out in the wait a minute. Is that being counted as a sheet? Auto structures. It is being counted as a sheet. Well, I'll be. Okay, well, unfreeze. Wiggle up. We're at 12k right now. We are losing points on the residue count, but I'm okay with it. We are still keeping our rubber bands in place. So, sheets, please survive. Please survive, sheets. That would be very, very nice. But yeah, Everlasting, if you're looking to get into this game, then by all means, ask me questions. I have been streaming this game for about 2 years, 2.5 years now, and I've gotten really, really good, to the best of my ability at least, at explaining all the science and all the controls, because my god, the controls take a while to learn, but it's really fun when you really sink your teeth into it, and I'm glad that a lot more people are playing this game now, especially with our coronavirus puzzles. That's been really, really great to have here. Let's go to full clashing points. Let's keep our bands. Let this thing breathe. They're still on auto wiggle power, so we can't shift upwards into medium quite yet. That's okay. Might not be gaining as much points here. Let's see. My loops are still non-ideal. I think I need to run quick fix once I'm done with this. Alright, let's stop wiggle so I can set an undo point, remove bands, and wiggle up. That should hopefully help things, and then I think we do need to use a mutate pass as well before I run quick fix. That would help things as well. What is this clash going on over here? This is a weird clash. I think something's too close together. Let's wait for mutate to finish though. Also, if you want to join the community as well, there is a forum on the website, but we also have a Discord server now. Our Foldit Discord has been absolutely lit up like a Christmas tree, and we've been helping all sorts of people get into the game. It's been really, really great. Alright, we're almost out of early game, guys. Once we're out of early game, I'm gonna switch on over to Animal Crossing, and we're gonna have a chill, nice evening on a deserted island with nothing but our Tanuki friends. Don't have the patience? No worries, no worries. I think, as with a lot of games, it's very helpful to learn by watching at first. My style for assembling my Foldit, Mr. City, my style for assembling my Foldit solutions is akin to sort of Bob Ross, where you don't know what he's putting down on the canvas, and he's just doing all this stuff that doesn't make sense, and then you start typing ruined in chat, and then you get to the end, and you're just like, oh my god, Poggers, he saved it, saved. So let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's run a quick fix on this. Happy little loops. That's right. All right. Recipes. Recipe meta. Please save the day. In fact, I really want this to be saved. Yo, Pog. It's saved. Already. Let's wait for this to finish a loop here. You can see in the recipe output that it says loop 1.1. I'm waiting for it to tick upwards to loop 2. Sometimes if it spends a lot of time on a particular quick fix technique, then it will do it again if it's finding a lot of different gains to be had. So that's a very, let's see. That question's a little bit complex because, what we're doing whenever we wiggle, is we're trying to find, optimizations, right? But the thing is that once we find, like, a local, like, maximum of points, right? We can, like, obviously, like, wiggle will get stuck, right? It can't find any more point gains, so it's not gonna do anything anymore, right? It's up to us as humans to look at it and say, okay, what doesn't make sense? Like, is there a void here that I can maybe pull on and make changes to and then let wiggle take back over? Or maybe there's something else going on, and then maybe we need to check the numbers. Do they all add up? And so that's where human-made or human-programmed recipes, which is what I'm using over here. Quick Fix is one of them, but there are other late-game recipes that are all coded in LUA. They're all player created for use by other players. That's where recipes come in and sort of automate the process, like folding at home, but not really, because we're still looking at this thing. That's where recipes come in and say, okay, there are a few different strategies. Let me maybe randomly shake up the protein and then let Wiggle try to optimize it again and see if it settles into a new high score. Or maybe I'll try and make changes to the worst scoring parts of the protein and make little edits there, shift those around, and test what settles into a higher score, and then we'll go from there. So again, it's human-focused strategies that, I mean, I guess you can argue that it's still like the algorithms that Folding at Home uses, but we save a lot of time in the early phase of putting this all together by positioning this all as humans, and then cleaning it up, and then we have our input to fall back on. And then sometimes too, when, for example, we're using the sidechain auto picker mutate, mass mutate sometimes picks some weird stuff. Like, for example, methionine, apparently I'm told that Rosetta may have a bias for methionine since it packs things like very neatly, but in reality we might not actually want it. And so I've had a couple of people from the Institute of Protein Design comment, hey, maybe we should get rid of those in your non-leaderboard solution that you can submit to scientists. Which, by the way, the top leaderboard positions will obviously be analyzed by scientists, but if you feel like your fold has something special or still worth checking out, you can click on, you can hit save and then open and share solutions. There's a button to directly submit your solution, no matter what your leaderboard rank is, to scientists for analysis, and they'll at least take a look at it and see what's going on and whether or not they think they can glean anything off of it. So let's see, let me check the recipe output here. Are we still on loop 1? We're still on loop 1. Quick Fix is finding a lot of different point gains. In fact, let me check my objectives right now. So we're getting full core, we are down residue counts, but that's okay. We still have non-ideal loops, we can get up to 500 points from that, so I think we need to fix that. I hope that answered your question, Tyzoid. It's actually a little more complicated than I anticipated to answer, but there's a lot that goes in to figuring out what proteins are shaped like, and that's just the inherent problem of protein folding. So yeah, I should probably get some more water here in a second. Also need to go to the bathroom. Also a solid rank 21, just because none of the high scores are doing here. How do I know when to stop? I stop gaining points. That's the bottom line, is that I stop gaining points. And then I just have to look at it and ask myself, why am I not getting points? That's where the human intuition comes in, where it's like, okay, maybe I need to run a recipe that checks for the worst parts. Maybe I need to fix this glaring issue that I can clearly see. That's where we come in. Or maybe I just want to try something different. I mean, there's always just, you can save your solution and load something else and start from scratch. See if it scores better. It's all up to you. You can play this game competitively, or you can play this game scientifically. Either way, it's going to help. Let's see. So we didn't even make it out of loop 1 on Quick Fix. Let's see. No ideality issues, but we do have our loops having big problems. I kind of wanted to finish quick fix, but you know what? Let's am I losing any? Okay, I'm not losing any points for secondary structure design, so I'm not. Mutate hasn't picked any side chains that are costing me points. Seems like shots in the dark. I wouldn't expect you to know what to do like right out of the tutorials. Let me be very honest with you. The tutorials need a lot of work. And a lot of work is being done on the tutorials to really actually teach how we sort of recognize what to do. And I'm actually in the middle of typing up a sort of tutorial video of what the Foldit early game and late game is like. Well, early, mid, and late game is like, so that people aren't as, blind going in. Thanks for watching, Meta. Yeah, it's not too late here on the west coast of the United States quite yet. And I actually do have work tomorrow, so I'm actually going to be ending at midnight. That's my hard cutoff. So, you had so much difficulty getting into it 4 years ago? I was the same way, actually. I tried it back in high school, around in 2012, and I just could not. I just couldn't. I couldn't get into it. I was just like, what am I even doing? But it was only after I took biochemistry in college that I could actually appreciate what I was doing on screen, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute. This game has a lot of different uses. We can do a lot with this game. That was the tipping point for me. Now, grappling with the controls, that still took me at least a month to really get used to it. And even now there are puzzles where it's like, God, the controls are so bad, I cannot play this kind of puzzle. And those puzzles are really difficult. Those are the design puzzles that involve symmetry. All the electron density puzzles, I do like those, but currently some of the controls leave much to be desired, and I can't play some of the electron density puzzles. I did a time-lapse video for one of them, and that turned out really well, but subsequent electron density puzzles where like the electron cloud was just like a cake and I had to like dig my way through, I was like, no way. Not with these controls. Alright. Let's see. Am indeed fusing by hand. Please don't break my bonds. I'm gonna lose out on these non-ideal loops here since I'm not using Blueprint to design my loops in between. That's okay. Let's see, I lost one of my bonus points there. That's okay. Actually, once I boost upwards to medium wiggle power, maybe I might get some of them back, but we'll see. Well, I'm glad it seems that way. By the way, being here as a streamer to actually like play the game and show people how it's played helps immensely, because before me there was basically the black belt folding videos which were recorded, and like all the like featured players in those, they're actually much older than I am, so they're maybe not as well versed in the medium as, say, like, your typical like young YouTuber appealing to the gamers, which I am that young, but it's I don't know, it's a different flavor. All right, take care, Seuss. Thanks for stopping by. By the way, Seuss big Foldit veteran. She occasionally streams Foldit. She was just streaming Foldit before me, apparently, and she is very good at this game. You should look up to her. And her advice. And again, like, no offense to like the people in those black belt folding videos, right? So It's just that naturally it just lends itself to be a less interesting watch experience for a lot of people, and that's something that I keenly understand. So back when I started streaming Foldit for the first time, 2.5 years ago, I was like, okay, well, I like video games, I like science, I sort of live stream, I have experience, so why not make it a thing? And that's gotten me places I never dreamed I would get to. It helped me set myself apart in interviews for pharmacy school. I put it, I cited my experience there, and like even now, with this opportunity, it's still making waves. So this is my way of giving back to the game, in a sense. But also, I like to be known for this, as my Twitch channel's claim to fame. Okay, so very minute gains right now. So we might be hitting a soft point cap. This is not going up very fast right now, right? The best scores right now are in like 14k, 14,600 looks like. So I'm not within 1,000 points striking distance of the current lead player. Let me run Quick Fix first, in earnest this time, and see if it can't fix these non-ideal loops. I think no matter what, I'm gonna have to eat the penalties on that, because it's not like based off of the blueprint loops. So that's unfortunate, but we'll deal with it. And I think we'll still get point gains off of Quick Fix as well. But yeah, I think right now I should take a break, get some water, and I think when we come back, we'll wrap up the segment of Foldit, because I'm going to, stabilize this as much as I can, and then pick a recipe for it to run. And these are like the long-term, like, you set it and forget it and leave your computer on recipes, and those will find point gains automatically through different strategies. And so we'll just leave that on while we play something else, and maybe overnight, and if not overnight, then just whenever we're using the computer. So I will be right back. I'm also gonna play an ad break. Hopefully this will work on my stream deck. So yeah, stay hydrated. I'm gonna get some more water. Y'all take care of yourselves in the meantime. So, let me get back into it here. So, yeah, Tyzer, you were asking, for those of you watching VODs and don't really want to look at chat history here, you're asking, like, speaking of leaving the computer on overnight, do you know if the devs have considered something like folding at home, where players can run jobs on a distributed computing system? For example, like donating CPU cycles to accelerate, like, say, me running this recipe here, right? You think it's unfair if it's available to all players? Well, Foldit does have groups, right? They kind of act like guilds in a sense, and you can share solutions with each other for everybody to look at and make edits to, and then you can participate in the group competition leaderboard, which I'm not a part of. I am soloist by intention. Partly because I'm busy enough to not be able to play the game every day and deal with, like, the inherent internal politics of being in groups. Hello, Sybil. How you doing? It's been a long time since I've seen you in this channel. How are you doing, friend? So yeah, folding at home, or no, it's not. Excuse me, not folding at home. Rosetta at home does do computations on Foldit solutions. It's actually just they do the typical like folding predictions that they would on like other proteins on Foldit solutions to see if they fold it the same way that players propose them to. And so that's one of the ways that Rosetta at home interacts with Foldit, is that they actually run them through the winning solutions. And I'm glad that you saw my YouTube video. That was like mostly the stream VOD that I made, but I also made a short 6-minute like tutorial guide on like which tutorials are relevant for the coronavirus puzzles, and then like how to get through them very quickly. Let's see. No, this was actually good timing since the quick fix stopped on loop 2.0 as I returned, and we're actually about to wrap up the Foldit segment of the stream, Sybil, because I have a copy of Animal Crossing that I want to play a little bit before bed here, because I got work tomorrow, but I got Animal Crossing now. So I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna name my town, but I will leave this on in the background, thankfully, and I will try to pick a recipe that will work out in our favor here. Hang on. Hold the phone. What is going on over here? Why is this in the middle? Of all the things. Is that real? Hold on. Let's see. Mass mutate is now Y. Oh my god. It's actually picking that. Foldit town. Hang on, I am racking my brain as to why mutate or auto pick would pick this amino acid. This is what I was talking about, right? Where it's like you're racking your head as to like what can I do to make my solution better, and then you see something like this. Okay, so it's creating clashes. Oh, but that's because there's a methionine here. Rosetta, you silly bean, you shouldn't be picking methionine. Unless you pick another methionine, but no, it's gonna clash with itself. Alright, fine. Look. Go with a valine. It's clashing, but I think we can work with it. Oh god, camera, please. Maybe we change you to a valine as well, just so we can get more packing in? Yeah, thanks, Sybil. I certainly will in like just a few minutes here. It's almost 10:30. Oh, that was very kind of you to do so. I appreciate it. Foldit's been getting so much activity lately. We have a Discord now as well, so I've just been, like, for the past week or so, just non-stop checking the Discord, seeing if anybody needs help, and making content for the community to hopefully use and enjoy, because there is a distinct lack of that. Of anyone besides me in the Foldit sphere that makes content that people can sort of watch, follow, and move along with. So, and then my stream VODs are being archived too. So, and exactly, like, you know, what better way to self-isolate from the coronavirus than to work on coronavirus research from the comfort of your own home lab? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Alright, time to turn on the Infinity recipes, and I think I know just the tool for the job. We're going to use the good old classic Timo von der Laan recipe, Deep Remix Worst. I will set the maximum length to 10, and then we will have mutate on normal settings. Do we dare go up to medium wiggle power? I say no. I can do a medium pass later. Alright, so now I gotta find something that looks good on my stream, like, watermark. So we can let's go into cosmetic settings here. Let's turn off all of our technical stuff. Don't show, and I'll go into performance mode as well. How playing Foldit can help fight the coronavirus. I mean, there's plenty of videos already by the official Foldit channel, right? Like, they've been posting a lot more through that avenue. There's a lot more videos already. explaining how they're analyzing solutions, how playing this game is helping to contribute to the research. Unfortunately, what I've been seeing on Twitter is more contributions to Folding at Home, which is great, mind you. I'm just sitting here like, but video game, right here. I like video game. Video game is hard, but you know, so is Dark Souls. People like Dark Souls. So I'm your Foldit point of contact. I mean, look, like everyone's like playing Foldit or Folding at Home, right? Which is something completely different. It's ran by a different institution. I don't know how many times I've answered this or clarified this in the past week, but Folding at Home is a different endeavor. It's still related to protein research, mind you. It's ran by, I believe it's Stanford, and what it does is that it takes spare computing cycles from people's CPUs and GPUs, mind you. That's why NVIDIA said, hey, go donate your spare cycles to protein research. It's basically distributed cloud computing, and people just like chip in and lend what they have. Rosetta at Home is Foldit's counterpart to Folding at Home, because Foldit runs on the Rosetta macro modeling engine, and so that's something that's affiliated with Foldit if you are interested in that and you don't want to sink your teeth into Foldit. Maybe you think it's still too complicated even with my guides. That's totally fine and reasonable. This game is actually hard to get into. I think that'll look good on stream. So I will change my stream information from Foldit to Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I think I shall turn off pretzel music, because we won't need that where we're going. Update my information here, because it is almost 10:30 and I actually want to sink like a decent amount of time into this game. Where's my volume mixer? I mean, I could just take another ad break like right now. Get that Twitch money, am I right? Or I could just stop hemming and hawing and switch over as shown. So, like, as you guys can see on that on the other side of the screen there. Let me turn off studio mode so I can make sure it does show up decently well. Foldit is still running in the background, and I'm still in control of this. But let's say we play some Animal Crossing, yeah. Yes, you can check. You can go connect to the internet, do the thing. We can indeed play the video game. Got the tropical shirts, man. Name and birthday. All right. I cannot change
Incoming
this.
raid!
Oh my goodness.
Everybody start panicking your battle stations.
We are getting raided by Biohack TV. Hello. Welcome in. Play Foldit. You want me to switch back to my Foldit scene? I just hit mid-game. I just hit mid-game, guys. Thank you so much for the raid, Biohack. How's it going? Were you just playing Foldit as well, or like what's the deal? Solve the virus. I am doing my best. You guys want to see what I did for my solution here? While we have Animal Crossing in the background. This game, like, once you get out of the early game, right? This game can be played like in between the lobbies and whatnot. You develop Rosetta as your main job? Yo, that's nuts. How have I not found you yet? You do know that Foldit's like got a Discord now, right? Like, holy. Well, welcome in. You are an esteemed guest of honor in this house, as far as I'm concerned. Let me drop you a hot follow. But yeah, Black Desert, interesting. You didn't know that? Like, dude, I've been streaming this game for about 2.5 years off and on. This game has helped me get into pharmacy school by setting me apart in interviews. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Small world. Small freaking world. And I am currently in pharmacy school to get a Pharm D. So you saw one of my VODs and followed. Oh, nice. And then you played it the other day. That's wonderful. Yeah, I've been, like, the past week has just been an explosion of activity for the game, and so I've just been like hardcore activating. Did you place on last round's leaderboard? I placed rank 27 with like a pretty decent score. I think I scored at least 14k on that. But yeah, welcome in, Biohack. A pleasure to have you here. Let me go back to the game that I have waited months for. 127 when we stop working on it? Hey, we can't win them all, right? Alright, I can't change this. But what do I want my villagers to call me, though? I kind of want them to just call me Patrick. You want to see Foldit, guys? Like, come on, guys. Alright, hold on. Hold on. This is I don't know what to say. This is highly ironic. Never would I have guessed that my chat would be asking me to play Foldit over freaking Animal Crossing. Well, luckily I can just turn my Switch off to sleep mode here and then update my stream information to Foldit. Just like that through OBS, and just switch back to normal settings because I guess I'm playing more Foldit. Baited. Oh boy. Alright, I'll do it for you, chat. I'll do it for you. I should launch Pretzel again because I want music. We can do that. We have the power. You don't really understand this game? Neither did I the first time I played it. I have not played Black Desert. I have not partaken in the Black DZ, as some might refer to it. I know it's a good game in its own right. It just wasn't for me. Let's see. Let's go ambient. And make sure that's not too terribly loud. Maybe a little louder. There we go. Cool. But if you guys don't already know what it is, it's basically a protein folding sandbox. Gotta head to the store. All right, well, stay safe and take care out there. All right, I will do my best to in my part for coronavirus research. All right, let's turn on my stuff here. Thanks for the follow, by the way. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's turn on our workshop tools, if you will. I like to keep voids off personally, just because they tend to get in the way and they're not like really useful. If there's like an empty space, I generally can see it. I like to turn them on just to like spot check it. Let's turn off our recipe here too. Yeah, again, thank you guys for the follows. There are some voids over here that I can probably deal with, but nothing too concerning. I don't think I need to move my backbone pin either. But yeah, it doesn't start out like this, by the way. Like, we had to spend the better part of, I guess, an hour and a half folding this up. So this is what we started with, right? We started with a locked segment. We can edit what's on the side chains here, but we can't really like change what's going on as far as the shape of the backbone goes. And then these ends here, we're free to change these to whatever we want. So I think, you know, just for you guys, I think I'll do an alternate solution track here. Let's see. So for this one, I opted for one helix and then a sheet network. So this wraps this way and then that way and this way and that way. But the problem with sheets is that they're really hard to work with in Foldit. They're not for the faint of heart because they take so much to wrangle them into something that's actually worth keeping that sometimes I just don't bother. In fact, hold on, let me click auto structures just to get an up-to-date snapshot as to what the game is considering in a proper sheet or helix. Let me see here. I didn't know, like, Dang, it is a. I'm still low key shook because like like our friend Biohack here, he's got the verified checkmark. Homie's a partner, and he works on Rosetta. That blows my mind. All right, not understanding nothing. I can break it down. I can break it down for you guys. So let's start from scratch. Let's switch to a different track here. You guys don't need to worry about that yet, but let's see. All right, so you're studying for your biochem final? Oh, nice. Let's see. Stream track. Let's start fresh. Let me walk you guys through it as you would watch Bob Ross paint a picture. Were you guys there for that when Bob Ross first went on Twitch and like people were just watching his old episodes and whatnot and commentating over that? That's the kind of approach that I take when I'm folding proteins. So Foldit is a game. It's a protein sandbox, right? We can fold whatever the heck we want within the confines of Foldit, and it'll actually show us whether or not it's very likely to fold together like we've modeled it through the score function. The higher the score, the more stable your fold is, which means it's not going to blow up if you put it together in the way that you have it on screen. Right now, the way we have it on screen, we've got a whole bunch of problems, and it's probably gonna make a really weird shape that nobody likes. And so we need to fix that. Now, in this particular puzzle, this is actually contributing to the coronavirus research. So down here, this bottom portion, I should use a different color scheme to help identify it. So this bottom portion, let me take away the bells and whistles here so I can explain. This bottom portion, this is a part of the spike protein that forms the corona of the coronavirus, right? And so this is the part where this latches on to one of our proteins, our human proteins. It latches on and hijacks the cell. So we're thinking, okay, we can stop this if we make something that binds better than its intended target and just throw in a dummy, right? And jam it up. And so that's our challenge in Foldit, is to make something that binds even better. Now, the first two rounds of this puzzle, we could actually start from scratch and make anything. Like this segment here is not locked, and so we could actually like do whatever we wanted as long as it fit in this little groove here. But in these current challenge rounds, they've actually like locked down this part, and I think what they did is, what the scientists did is like, okay, players, this is like a chunk from the actual protein that it binds to. We're gonna freeze part of it, and then you guys make the rest, and then we'll see how it folds up. If it's stable, if it scores well, then we will take a look at it and see if it actually would probably fold up like that. And then the best solutions from all of the competitions, right? And also the best solutions that people submit to scientists manually, even if it doesn't reach the top of the leaderboard, those will actually get synthesized in a wet lab. They'll actually make the protein that we're trying to make, in the sandbox here. They'll actually make it, see if it actually folds up that way, and then they'll test it against coronavirus spike proteins to see if it binds or not. And if it does, then I mean we've got a solution on our hands, or at least part of a solution. It's not that simple. There's more videos on the game's website. In fact, hold on, let me type in the command for you guys. !FOLDIT gets you the TLDR and the website for the game, where you guys can find out more. They've been posting more videos to their YouTube channel. My content is focused more on helping people trying to play the game. So, anyways, so let's indeed start folding. Let's change back to a suitable color scheme. In fact, I'm gonna use a different color scheme here. Don't worry if you don't get this all at the first try. I have been playing this game for about 2.5 years, so right now My other solution involved some helices and sheets, but I'm going to keep it simple and just make 3 helical coils, and I'll explain why in a second. If you guys don't know the science behind this, don't worry, because just by playing this game, you basically have to learn the science anyways, because it's the metagame, and you just end up learning it anyways. I knew some of the science when I took biochemistry. I didn't know all of it, and I just gradually learned more as I played more of the game. So what I'm doing here is I am assigning these segments as to be a helix, right? They don't look like a helix just yet, and I'll fix that in a moment. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3. Assign helix. You know, I'll allow that. You're learning about X-ray crystallography. Yo, that is one of the tools that scientists use to actually verify the structure of proteins made in this game. So even though it's kicking your butt, you got this. It's very hard science to begin with. All right, so what I did there is I right-clicked and I just clicked on Ideal Secondary Structures. I'm gonna allow that, Gorgonzola, but keep it clean if you would, please. Because again, this game is free to play and it contributes to science, and I'd rather we not have to sidestep around these kinds of things. No worries. It's an informal rule that my Foldit streams are kept a little cleaner than I normally would. I mean, I can be a salty boy when push comes to shove. But yeah. Right now, so I've designated my secondary structures. The reason why we do this is because proteins tend to naturally clump up because of physics. Trademark or something like that. I can get into the actual explanations, but I mean, you don't need to know that to play the game and get a good score. Thanks for the follow, and yo, that is a Twitch Prime sub. There it is.
Heard about Twitch Prime?
Because this person has. Thank you, Valentir. Valentir? Is that how you pronounce your name? Do enlighten me on that. Valentir, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate it. So right now I'm just taking my helices and positioning so that they can make this sort of core in the middle. I'm using this core existence objective and clicking show to have the game show me what it's being considered inside the core, and that is important for score. Hello, love. How are you doing? I take it you've been having fun actually playing Animal Crossing, right? Let's see. I think this is too far, maybe. I think I can afford one more segment. Hold on, let me check Blueprint real quick. No, the longest building blocks are three segments wide. Oh, you've been resetting your town? You're trying to get peaches? Oh my goodness. The fruit grind. Just downloaded the game. I'm assuming you're talking about Foldit, but if you just downloaded Animal Crossing, that's fine too. Both are very good games in their own regard. Okay, so this is very, very close. But obviously that's way too close, because now they're starting to clip into each other. You just downloaded as well? Nice. Let me gonna speedrun Foldit. Yo, I have a 6-minute video up on YouTube. Let me link that to you right now, and that'll show you like most of the relevant tutorials that you need for the coronavirus puzzle. Yo, let me get this quick plug in. I also have a detailed walkthrough for like the rest of the tutorial. That's like, it's an hour-long VOD. I basically did an early stream when the coronavirus puzzles were still kind of in their infancy. I did an early stream of that and made that public for people to reference. So anyways, I've got my helices in place. They're forming this nice little core here, so that hydrophobic residues can hide in the middle of that, and that'll help hold the protein together. The they're not exactly sticky, but they tend to stick together because this entire protein simulation is assumed to be immersed in water, and so you want your water-loving side chains on the outside. So if we don't have it colored in blue here, or the core existence, those are going to be blue residues when we turn core existence off, and then on the inside we want our orange hydrophobic residues. So water-loving, water-fearing, and form that core. Obviously, by the way, these are straight helices. Well, they'll loosen up once we make some more edits here. So right now, I want to anchor this in place because right now, if we turn on show clashes, this thing is clipping to all hell, and if we hit wiggle right now, it's just gonna fly loose, right? This stability score is super duper unstable, and it'll not survive. So we can account for that. We can actually tell the game to don't pay attention too much as to clashing by turning this down, and that'll help later. We don't need to use it right now. What I do want to do is use I want to anchor these things in place. So right now I am going to use the freeze tool, and I think I want to do the same thing that I did the other time. Let's unfreeze everything. I'll refreeze it in a second. But I want to use selection interface to highlight all of the segments that I wanted to anchor in place. Minus these ones, thank you. And then I can use a recipe. Recipes are player-made scripts coded in LUA that do various things. These are early game recipes, so they kind of, serve to make a tedious function a little bit less tedious by automating it. But other recipes are primarily used for late game, where you've got your whole protein folded together, and it's starting to take shape, but you really need something to crunch those numbers and get you those score gains on the leaderboard. So I'm gonna hit selected only, and then just hit start. We'll just use default settings, and then we'll just chill for a bit and take a drink of water because my throat is gonna wear itself out if I don't take a drink and stop talking. Please also note that this is a very laggy game at times. It is not RTX on, so please bear with us. This is, after all, an 11, almost 12-year-old game, I want to say. So this game has years on it. It's gotten many updates, and I will say the site is also antiquated as all heck. Alright. And don't worry, stream is not ripped. Game is not ripped, it is just actually lagging that badly. Alright, so now that has finished, let's go into stick view just to double check that it is banded together everything. So what those things are, those pink magenta things, if you hold shift and drag out, you can see that you create like this sort of purple thing, and this is a rubber band. So what the hell happened? Everything changed. Foldit has multiple view modes. So right now this is the stick model view, where all of the atoms, you can actually see all of the atoms if you so wanted, and this is really good if you want to like configure hydrogen bonds in your backbone and try to like fix beta sheet bonds, or maybe a helix bond came undone or something like that. I don't spend too much time in this though. Let's go back to cartoon, and that'll simplify things for us again. So I was just in stick view to just check that these helices have been rubber banded and anchored in place. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the orientation of these helices. So those are frozen now. They can't distort and start breaking apart just because the game thinks it's unstable. I've set the clashing importance way down low. There's a lot of clashes right now. These are these red spike balls that indicate that things are too close together. They're clipping into each other. It's no bueno. And so next I'm going to use some of the automated tools that Foldit just straight up gives to you. So I'm going to click on shake. This will take all of the little side chain sticking off the side here, and choose the best possible position for it that makes sense, right? And that'll help increase the score a little bit. And we'll be using more of this tool later. A lot of recipes use this tool just automatically, so there's that. So we'll wait for this to finish up. You can see how many passes of your protein it's done in this upper left-hand display here. Once it ticks up to 2, that means the first pass is done. It's spent about like 30 seconds. So I can just click on stop or hit escape on my keyboard to stop it. We're still in the negative points though, so this is still very unstable. So we're going to do Wiggle now. Wiggle tries to move things in such a way that the score increases, right? It gets more stable. And as such, like, it'll get stuck eventually. In fact, it might have got... Nope, it's not stuck yet. But it'll keep moving until it can't find any more moves that can result in more points given the current criteria here. So we'll hit stop there because it got stuck. And then I'll raise the clashing importance just a little bit. I'll tell the game to say, okay, now you gotta care a little bit more about things clipping, make sure that everything has more breathing room. And the reason I'm doing this like so delicately, because if I didn't use the rubber bands and I didn't anchor everything in place, again, if I hit wiggle, the game's gonna be like, oh my god, everything's clashing, it's just gonna fly apart like spaghetti on the wall. So that's why I'm being a little bit deliberate in how slow I'm bringing this back up here. Let's see. So I guess it is harder to form a core with just helices, as I'm finding out here, versus my other solution. Alright, so that has stabilized again, so we should up the clashing importance. You can only go up to a maximum of 100, mind you, so... it's like finding the lowest energy state. Exactly. You are on the money right there. In fact, the Foldit score function, like, these points are just arbitrary. If you really wanted to look underneath the hood, there is a version of Foldit called Foldit Standalone. It is intended more for scientists than players, but instead of the score function, it displays it in, I think, potential energy units. I forget if they use joules or kilocalories, but they use some sort of energy unit, and it's actually an inverse of the score function. So as score goes up, potential energy goes down, and possibly into the negatives too. So if it's in the negatives, that means it's very, very likely to adopt this state, since it's, you know, well, so very stable. Or at least, so we think. I'm sure if I had more Foldit staff on hand, or Biohack himself could probably explain things a lot better than my layman's terms. You can download the big boy version. Okay. All power to you. Let's see. What do I want to do? I'm going to get rid of the bands, but I'm going to go to 80% clashing importance just to make sure that it settles a little bit. I don't want this to fly apart too much. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. Let's see. Maybe I zero length band again. Yeah, let me zero length band again. Let me see if... Okay, if I hit frozen, let's see, if I hit band frozen only, then it's gonna band... Oh, it's gonna ban the coronavirus protein. I don't want that. How about I do band helices? Or actually, wait, back out of the recipe first. Unfreeze. Band helices. The problem I have with this is that it lags my game so much and I have to wait until it's done. Yeah, no problem, Valentir. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks again for the sub. I don't get a lot of traffic here, so anything helps. And hope you have a good night, or morning, or wherever you are. Gonna play this game tomorrow? Alright. Sounds like a plan. Let's see here. Yeah, not frozen. And then ban helices only, and that should ban my helices. But yeah, I'm like halfway through the early game, and so, reminds you of Dwarf Fortress. I'm halfway through the early game, so once you start to like stabilize this and like get things into the positives, that's when you can kind of step back a little bit and ease off the hand folding, and you can let recipes really take over the show to optimize your proposed solution. And as Moobot says right there, I was attempting to play a different game and having Foldit run in the background to find an optimized score. But since you guys have a Rosetta team member, I think I figured I owed it to you guys to play a little bit more Foldit. For the fold, pun intended. Honestly, I should just be saying welcome to the fold, everybody. But I used to say like welcome to Soc's lab because I'm Socrates and this is my home lab, so I mean it works. Alright, and let's see, I should be Zealbead now. Stick view. Yeah, okay, I am properly Zealbead. This is what I get for going for old reliable. And then maybe I won't preserve my helix shapes. Let them contort a little bit since they are Zealbead. We might lose a few bonds, but we should go well into the positives. And now we are starting to actually stabilize. So how am I doing on core? Oh, okay, we're losing a little bit of core bonus. We don't have as tight of a core as we did on the other solution, so that's unfortunate. We can figure it out though. And plus we haven't mutated yet, so we're probably gonna get a lot of core residues for mutation. So let's settle in. Oh, I did it again. 0.80. There we go. Let's settle in, wiggle down. And settle. Let's wait for it to stabilize first. I know our two chatters just now had to go here, but if you guys have any questions, feel free and ask, and I will do my best to answer them. Alright, that's stabilized. So again, we want that nice protein core to even exist in the first place, because that's what actually drives. That's what actually makes it take its shape. Those are the kinds of patterns that we found when studying actual proteins in nature. Okay, so I think now I'm good to remove the rubber bands. Let's mutate and have the game auto pick side chains for us. We could go ahead and like pick all of these on our own and do it that way. I'm lazy, so I just let the game pick for me, and then I just look at them and see, does that belong in this place, and does that make sense? And it usually works out. And already we're gaining a lot of points here. So we're now in the 11,000s and should be in the 12,000s soon. We might even surpass our other high score here that I was about to autofold before we got raided. Crazy stuff, man. Oh man, wait till Josh hears about this. Holy moly. It is a small wild world, which is incidentally the name of another Animal Crossing title. Okay. Get my notifications on here. It's been a very, very busy quarantine week, if I may be so bold to call it that. I still have online classes for pharmacy school, and so that's been keeping me extremely busy with my studies. Luckily though, for me, like we've transitioned to like all online learning, so I don't have to commute, which is very, very nice for me personally. Also, we are not reaching core existence. I feel like I want to drag this down, but then I'd have to like pull this upward and just kind of go back to square one. I guess that's one of the weaknesses in the basic triple helix design. maybe what I can do actually is attach some rubber bands here and drag it down anyway, and then mutate and see if we can't get some extra core bonuses. And naturally, these will come over together too, because those will like want to create more points by packing things together. I think it would also benefit from a fast relax as well. I think we're very close to my other solutions high score. Let's remove the bands, hit mutate, see what we get. And I think, you know, at this point too, it is probably in a state where I could actually hand this over to what I call infinity recipes, but I could hand this over to mid-game and late-game recipes to start optimizing the score, because now it's stable. Like, now when I hit wiggle, it's not going to fly apart, which means we've got something good on our hands that is decently stable, right? Like, I'm not getting the full bonus here, but there's still a hydrophobic core, there's a hydrophilic outer wall, and we do have secondary structures forming plenty of hydrogen bonds that give us a pretty decent score. So we've got that going for us, and I can hand it off. And I mean, like, the hardest part is the early game and figuring out what the heck do I need to do, right? And for that, you need to know, like, the basics of why proteins fold the way that they do. Like I said, if you don't know the science, you'll gradually learn the science anyway, because it is the metagame. So, we've got all the elements in place for recipes to really just drill down into the details, optimize this for me, and do that for me. I'm gonna give an example of a recipe here that I was using earlier. This is called TVDL, which stands for the initials of one of the famous recipe makers in Foldit, Timo van der Laan. I hope I pronounced his name right. And this is called D Remix W. It stands for Deep Remix Worst. And what it does is it searches for the worst scoring parts of our solution here, and it will perform a function called remix. You can actually use this by hand, but it's really more for the recipes. And so what it will do is it will try to insert chunks of other proteins that have been, you know, verified and whatnot as a structure, and replace it with what you have in there, and then see what scores well, and then if it scores well, it will optimize it and see if it can gain some more points from that. Rinse, repeat. So I'll just set it to mostly its default settings. Increase the max length to 10. I can click on show output, and then this gives us the recipe output window, which shows us our score. And it will get a little bit laggy in here, but yeah, now it's gonna try and look for remixes that could result in a better high score. And then it will try to refine the score using, you know, shake, wiggle, just automatically. You don't have to, you know, do it for the recipe. And we can just sit here and chill. I turned off my Switch earlier, but I can turn on my Switch and play Animal Crossing if I wanted to. I don't know if I would get more chat backlash for switching to Animal Crossing, but it seems to have quieted down, so I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing considering considering the context. But I am glad that you guys are here regardless. It's time. What am I gonna do at 11 o'clock? Maybe I should make a Southern Hemisphere island or something. Wait, no, that wouldn't do anything. It would still follow the proper time. So like that doesn't do anything for me. Maybe I should just go to bed after this and play it in bed. Oh, I wanted to play it on stream though. That would be really nice. I would like that. You're stuck on your island name? Well, I guess that's the good news, right? Is that I haven't decided on an island name either. So it kind of works out. I can play it in bed later, but then I wouldn't play it on stream. I want to have people hang out. I want to share the experience and totally get spoiled in chat because you know it's Twitch chat, right? You gotta at least expect Twitch chat to be a little bit rowdy, right? Is Animal Crossing free? As far as I know, it's not. I paid $60 for it, so that's the lowdown on that, I suppose. Let's see here. Oh, did Ryuji just finish streaming? I guess it doesn't like pop a raid if it was just you. Oh, yep, there he is. Hey Ryuji, how's it going? Hungry as usual. You just missed a big raid by our friend here, Biohack. He apparently is not only a Twitch partner who plays Black Desert Online, but he has a PhD in biochemistry and works on Rosetta, the engine for this here game. So that's pretty neat, if I may say so myself. So that's why we got a little bit more traffic here than usual. Although the chat's kind of died down, it's getting late for everybody involved. I have work tomorrow, so I can't stay up late streaming this for too much longer. So I'm thinking about passing the favor soon, and then maybe just getting some rest, and then just having more time to think on my island name. I can just keep my Switch in sleep mode for the entire time, so it's, there's that. But yeah, it's cozy and it's chill up in here. Yo, character creation takes forever. But the game does have good graphics, so all culture to ya. Let's see, who do I follow is actually playing Animal Crossing right now? Let's see, I Eat Your Pie is playing Animal Crossing. Oh, our good friend Nexus is playing too. Oh, Koniki as well. Very nice. God, I'm so behind on video games. I wanted to play the new Call of Duty, right? Like, I bought Modern Warfare, but the Battle Royale looks really fun, but I haven't found people to play it with. B, I kind of wanted to stream it, but not really. I guess I just wanted to try it out, but C, Foldit has been taking over my life. for lack of a better term. Like, I haven't been playing Dragalia Lost or Arknights as hard as I was playing it previously, because now Foldit is poppin'. So what can I say? This has been such a crazy experience. Not all positive, of course. It's kind of terrible that people are quarantined like this, but making lemonade out of what we have over here, it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Just a casual reminder here that we are chilling right now, but if you guys have any questions about what the heck you're looking at on screen, feel free. I am more than happy to answer them. Let me pause real quick, actually, because this has set a new high score, which is expected because Helices are OP. You heard it here first, guys. Helices are still OP as heck. New meta, please. Please buff Sheets. Don't actually buff Sheets, that would create scientific bias, but please buff Sheets. Let's see, switch tracks to default. I think I want to probably duplicate the default track into thing. I have a video to explain the basics of Foldit. So depends on what kinds of basics do you want. Do you want the do you want the tutorial, like as in like, which skills do you need to know for contributing to the coronavirus puzzle that I'm playing right now, or do you want like the scientific basis? Because if you want the scientific basis of Foldit and like how it helps to contribute to the coronavirus research, you should check out Foldit's official channel. For me, I post mostly gameplay guides and VODs, whereas Foldit posts more of the science aspect. Here, Ryuji with the command there to bring up Foldit's official website. Let's see. You can find Susume's vid in mine. Oh yeah, there's that too. But the small, like the short introduction is this video. I think I should make another command in MooBot here. Let me say custom commands. Oh, I should probably turn on the recipe first. That would be useful. Hold on, let's see. Sheet to helix sheet blanket create. Perfect. All right. Yeah, we'll use that track here and restore credit best and continue to run deep remix on auto. I think I'm gonna stray away from my usual strategy of going to medium wiggle power. But yeah, there's that video as well, Stevie. Let me add that video to a MooBot command. Let's see. Create command name. Corona TLDR. Response in chat. Due to coronavirus research. This video. Feel free to mute if you wanted to watch it right away. You gonna check it out after the stream? Yeah, that's fine. Hang on, let's see here. TLDR. Let's do the default timer here, and let's set that up to auto pop here. That could be helpful. Corona TLDR. Cool. Let me just test it real quick. Perfect. Beautiful. Alright. And that should link to Foldit's video. Nice.
So, you've already heard about...
That's what it sounds like. Anyway, the quick TLDR that I can give you that basically sums up the video is that we make coronavirus solutions here in the game. They get scored, scientists analyze them, and then they pick the best of the best to actually make in a wet lab to test against actual virus. So, oh yeah, and MooBot is also reminding folks that Foldit has been used for other things too. There is a ongoing challenge right now called the Aflatoxin Challenge, which is kind of another design puzzle series for this game, where instead of tackling coronavirus, we're tackling aflatoxin, which is a cancer-causing toxic compound that fungus makes that is apparently in a vast amount of the world's food supply. So working on an enzyme to potentially break it down is the objective for that puzzle series. It works a little differently, I will say, than the coronavirus puzzles. For the coronavirus puzzles, we are not making an enzyme, we are just making a protein binder, a dummy, if you will, to get in the way of coronavirus latching on to its intended target. However, the aflatoxin challenge instead, it actually has more than just proteins in the puzzle. It actually has the aflatoxin molecule modeled in such a way that it's just about to get converted into something else. And so if we can stabilize that sort of transition state, that's the actual term for it, between unreacted and broken apart, if we can stabilize that that moment where it's on the fence and about to tip over, that's how enzymes can help reactions move along, and so that's the objective in that puzzle. It's really a clever way to use Foldit, in my opinion, as something that can be used for more than just protein structure prediction and just regular old protein design without any real direction. And so that's still ongoing. I know that my alma mater, UC Davis, there is a lab over there still analyzing the results and trying to see what's going on with their proposed designs in the wet lab. So hopefully they'll give us some more updates soon. I am quite well acquainted with the principal investigator. He is very much an inspirational figure to me, and I keep in touch over Twitter as well with him. Let's see. Dang. Pretzel really chose a somber song all of a sudden. Dang. It's an approaching Nirvana song as well. Just goes to show that they have such a wide variety of musical genre. Let's see. This is still lower than my Helix score, which is problematic. Well, I guess I should still go for a score attack solution. And also, you can, if you wanted to, you can actually multi-box Foldit. You can run multiple instances of Foldit on your computer and test different solutions simultaneously. It's just that only one of the instances of Foldit can be connected to the internet at a time. So only basically your highest scoring solution is only going to be uploaded, like consistently updated and uploaded to the leaderboards. The rest are going to be offline until you choose to load it into your online copy of the game. So make of that what you will. I mean, Foldit does tax the CPU a little bit. It doesn't tax the GPU at all, or very little, compared to stuff like Folding at Home, which, by the way, for the umpteenth time, is not affiliated with Foldit. Folding at Home is still helping coronavirus research, but it is not Foldit. This is something different. So, just in case I needed to say that again. Maybe I should make a command for that as well. That's been such a hot button misconception that I think it deserves a command. Folding at Home. Can I put ats in commands? Not. It used to 14 years ago. I'd imagine it still does. And I mean, like, NVIDIA, of all things, of all entities, promoted Folding at Home, which I low-key feel betrayed because, come on, NVIDIA, your target demographic is gamers. Please give them games to play. But it is what it is. It's still good. It's still good for the world. Different institutions. won't put this one on the timer, but yeah, that should do it. Saved holding at home. Alright, Moobot, do you work? Bingo. Alright, let me set an alias for that as well. Let's say FAH. Create. Custom command, and holding at home. Let's do also F at H as an alias. Custom command, holding at home. Yes. Good old Moobot. Saving the day. How are we doing? We have still not surpassed our PB. I know we've used a lot of scientific terms on this stream, but at least I've used something more familiar to speedrunners in this case. I wonder if I could get a speedrunner to play this game. That would be an interesting experience. I already watched earlier, by the way, Jorbs, if you guys know. Apparently he's a big Slay the Spire streamer. He played a little bit of Foldit earlier and had devs on commentary, like on call with him while he played, and it was an interesting stream to watch. He didn't make something leaderboard worthy, unfortunately, but he was still pretty engaged with all of the devs and still really interested in what the game is capable of doing. And so I was really glad to kind of help out and field questions in chat. There was a lot of questions in chat, man, and it was a nice experience. I am glad that he had a good experience with the game, despite the game being inherently very difficult to get into. But he seems like the right person, the right audience for it. Alright, let me see. Is there anything going on over here? No, not quite. Holy moly, it is already 11:24. Wait, how long have I been streaming? I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. Which is like I am in awe of how things have unfolded, pun half intended, tonight. Hold on, what's Biohack's Twitter? I should follow him. Should absolutely do the thing. Go. I should probably mute. The site is already muted. Good. And check his panels for. This is Discord. Probably peek my head in there. Why not? Though I need to switch my notification settings. Actually, don't need the server, but only app mentions. Okay, cool. Gonna add it to my list of servers that have been relevant here. Oh, snap. I just checked the Foldit Discord. Apparently they're gonna shut down the current iteration of the puzzle and replace it with a bug fix for the blueprint one. So I might actually end up using blueprint in my next stream fold. Let's see here. someone else in the Discord was asking, do we need to do the helices again? What does that mean for my current solution? We can load it into the next puzzle. It's fine. I should save my solutions though, so let's see here. 2 helices plus sheets. And then let me load my other track. Save this as triple helix. Let me respond to this guy in Discord here. So I'll put in the helices again. But you are free to experiment if you wish. Have time and processing power. Hold on, switch back to my sheet track. Maybe we should make a habit of like naming the tracks just like from the get-go, so I don't have to like reset off the default track or something like that. Like I can just go back to the default, and then the default will be the puzzle reset. Let's see, George would probably have to work. Oh yeah, I was gonna send a screenshot. With this solution here. Link and let's disable the embed on that. There we go. Very nice. Where does this come from? Oh, it's actually coming from that like Min Online soundtrack, which is interesting to say the least. General purchase requests. Twitter is not very populated. I shall give him a follow, regardless. All about that media blitz, yo. Oh wait, I'm reading Biohack's bio right now, and he said that he was also part of the team that solved the first structure of a coronavirus spike protein. Where have you been all my life? I need to chat with this guy off stream, man. We should do that thing. I should also check his VODs to see how his Foldit stream went after I get home from work tomorrow. That should be a thing that I do. See where his Foldit stuff is. everybody's doing well tonight, by the way. I think I'm gonna wrap up, like, pretty soon here. I should probably go to sleep. I shouldn't, boot up Animal Crossing after this, because refolding a new solution pretty much took whatever time I was intending to leave for Animal Crossing out the window. And I want to, like, sink my teeth into it in earnest here, so I'll be sure to find a good channel to host, by the way. Also, I forgot to mention that the latest message that Moobot has posted, the Knowledge Fellowship, guys, there's a lot of educational content on Twitch. You just need to know where to look, and the Knowledge Fellowship is one of those places. So if you guys want to know about, like, literally anything, we've got a geologist, we've got, you know, some guy who knows biology and anatomy and physiology, there's a mechanic who lets, like, his job lets him live stream his job, and he'll just do his repairs while he talks about politics and the like. There is actually political streamers on Twitch that have actually healthy discourse, believe it or not. All sorts of different things to learn about. Maybe even sand art as well. Like there's some art channels there that have joined the fellowship. Scrolling through the list here, there's also a lady who does taxidermy, Mo the Bone Lady, I believe. And so many other channels that cover a wide plethora of topics here. So I'm one of them. Listed under general science as protein structure prediction and design, so that's Foldit for you. But yeah, social science, aerospace, physical science, practical EDU. That's where things get wild and wacky. There's a watch repair guy, Mr. Horologist. I keep remembering his name because horology is a unique word. And there also used to be a climate scientist who was playing Fortnite, just straight up talking about climate science while he plays Fortnite semi-skilledly. He wasn't that good, but he is entertaining to watch at least while he tries to, like, field a discussion with, like, a legitimate climate scientist while fending off a build battle or something. I still cannot understand how people, like, crank so hard in that game with build battles. Like, that is just nuts. At the end of the day, it's like the same thing as, like, fighting games, I realize, but I mean, you know. Yeah, no problem, Stevie. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your interest, and I really appreciate it. You take care now, and give those videos a watch when you can. I think I'm gonna probably call it here too. But before that, I obviously need to drink more water. I'm loving this bottle more and more. I think I might actually temporarily retire my other bottle. The one with the Splatoon stickers on it. Okay. You know what, guys? I'm gonna call it here. This is about as good of a time as any. I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging. We'll stick around for the raid. If you're lurking, keep lurking. It's all good in this house. Let me turn things off and go fully cosmetic. Turn off the pins, turn off the clashes. I guess you can show constraints, whatever. Get rid of my side chains, and let me get... Rainbow is actually useful for when you want to identify each end of the protein. Not so much in this puzzle though, just because of the way that it takes into account all the amino acids that you have, and not just the ones that you can actually edit. So that's kind of a shame, especially when there's, like, multiple protein units involved. That doesn't really help as much. I wish Rainbow actually colored, like, from, like, per protein rather than throughout all of the proteins in general. So I don't know. There are a lot, like, and I mean a lot of quality of life improvements that can be made for this game, and that is well up to mostly Josh, but anyone else working on on Foldit to figure out where they want to devote their resources. Alright folks, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Let me turn off the music, because we are done with that for now. Get my stream deck nice and ready, because we're gonna shut it down. Popsky, play us out. I have a Twitter, I have a Discord, go visit those, go visit Foldit. Once again, there's your command, fold.it, and you can learn more about the game over there. I'll also be hanging around the Foldit Discord as well. That is way more active than my personal channel Discord. So, that'll do it for me. I'm gonna pick a raid channel. Y'all have a good evening. Also, no raid message. Say what you want. Don't be vulgar. Don't be a dick. You know what? I think I ought to pay Shirelia a visit. Let's go visit her. Let's go raid her.